We've learned a grand jury will hear testimony on Monday as part of an ongoing investigation into Tiffany Henyard's leadership in the South Suburbs.
The FBI has launched an investigation into controversial Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
Dane Placco has been following allegations of her misspending and joins us now with an update. Dane.
Yeah, we've been reporting for nearly 2 years on allegations of corruption surrounding Henyard in her capacity as Dalton Mayor and Thornton Township Supervisor.
Now, most of us are familiar with the ongoing scandal surrounding Dalton, Illinois Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Recent developments have shocked both netizens and Dalton trustees, and the FBI has finally launched an investigation into the growing list of misconduct allegations against her. The mounting evidence is disturbing, and here's what you need to know. The first major update came when FBI agents were seen interviewing individuals in Dalton. While they declined to comment on the specifics of their investigation, it's safe to assume that it's connected to the many allegations against Henyard. For some time, reports have circulated that the so-called super mayor was using her political power for personal gain, and the situation has only deteriorated since.
This is as part of a possible investigation that may or may not result in charges. Did the FBI agents you talked to seem serious about?
Yes, very serious.
Concerns?
Very, very serious. Very.
Lawrence Gardner owns a U-Haul rental and trucking business in South Suburban Dalton and says he went to the FBI several months ago, frustrated that the village of Dalton would not renew his business license. Gardner says he's been harassed and his business raided and shut down by Dalton police. He believes because he refused to make a donation to a civic event sponsored by Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
And I talked to a couple of agents and I explained them what was going on. I gave them all my paperwork to show them what was happening in court and what was happening in Dalton. And they told me they was investigating and they would be in touch with me.
Gardner is one of 6 people who confirmed to Fox 32 that they've been interviewed by the FBI, ranging from Dalton business owners to a former village employee and at least one.
Many business owners in Dalton have come forward, revealing that their business licenses were denied simply because they refused to contribute to Henyard's election campaign. Imagine that your ability to run a business being tied to political donations. These allegations paint a disturbing picture of the corruption that has taken root since Henyard came to power.
The FBI has been using electronic surveillance as part of its investigation. Agents are asking questions about Henyard's alleged use of taxpayer dollars and resources, including massive spending on out-of-town trips, hundreds of thousands of dollars in police overtime for her personal security detail, using public employees and tax dollars for personal benefit, and holding up licenses to certain businesses like this Dalton restaurant.
I've heard rumors that say, hey, I'm on the wrong team.
Dwayne Wood has been trying to renew the business license for his restaurant for nearly a year. While he has not talked to the FBI, he believes he can't get it approved because he's provided catering to several Dalton trustees who are engaged in a political fight with Henyard.
I think I've been just targeted because of my association affiliation with a certain group of people. You know, I had the trustees. I've cooked for the trustees.
And in a lawsuit filed by a Dalton towing company, the owner alleges their business license has been held up because, quote, George's Towing's refusal to support or contribute to Henyard's political campaign.
Public office is meant to serve the people, not to line one's own pockets. Naturally, most residents of Dalton welcome the FBI investigation. For them, the FBI's involvement is crucial to clean up the mess and finally bring transparency to how their taxes are being spent.
Dalton trustee Jason House reacted to the news of the FBI's involvement. We welcome any investigation that will bring transparency on how taxpayer dollars are being spent. Our residents deserve this level of financial transparency. We reached out to the FBI, which said it is policy for the agency not to comment on the nature, existence, or non-existence of any investigation that may be occurring. A public relations firm responded on behalf of the mayor, saying neither Henyard or the village of Dalton have received any subpoenas or been contacted by the FBI or any other law enforcement.
Public outrage against Tiffany has only grown since the news broke that the FBI requested records from Dalton. This serves as unofficial confirmation that the FBI is gathering evidence to build a case against her. The walls are closing in, but this isn't the first time Henyard has been under scrutiny.
The latest court order, it asked for a variety of financial reports like budgets, accounting records, and receipts for Mayor Tiffany Henyard, Village Administrator Keith Freeman, and Trustee Andrew Holmes, as well as several other companies and individuals. plus any records related to Henyard's charitable organizations. The subpoena also requests all travel records paid for by the municipality, including a trip taken to Las Vegas in May of last year. On that trip, both the mayor's former assistant and a Dalton police officer. They've both filed a civil lawsuit accusing Holmes of assault and battery and Henyard of retaliation. Regarding the lawsuit, the mayor and Holmes both declined to comment. The first 2 grand jury subpoenas were served April 10th, asking for personnel and disciplinary files for nearly 30 people. The subpoenas also asked for documents related to Keith Freeman, the village administrator recently indicted on charges of bankruptcy fraud. His attorney told us he has no plans to step.
Tiffany has left Dalton's finances in such disarray that the village can no longer meet its obligations. This financial mismanagement led to a devastating blow. The law firm representing Dalton in over a dozen lawsuits resigned due to unpaid fees.
The case is May 8th due to lack of payment. NBC5 has obtained a copy of the letter sent to the village by the Delgado law firm.
As if the mismanagement weren't glaring enough, Henyard recently vetoed a proposal to investigate herself. Yes, you read that right. She had the chance to support a transparent review of her conduct, but chose to block it. This move only fuels further suspicion about what she might be trying to hide.
Dalton's controversial mayor, Tiffany Henyard, is resisting calls to look into her spending. At a village board meeting Monday night, the Dalton mayor vetoed a resolution passed by the board to investigate her spending. Last month, the board passed a resolution that required Henyard to turn in the village's financial records and called for an investigation by the FBI. Now, several Fox 32 reports have uncovered multiple allegations of corruption in her capacity as mayor and as Thornton Township supervisor. The mayor took issue with what she called attacks on her.
As you can see, our village, our community, myself, we are under attack. It's a shame that people can come to meetings and just tell one-sided stories and not get the entire side of both stories.
The Daily Southtown reports the trustees can vote to override the mayor's veto next month, and we have confirmed the FBI is questioning people as part of an ongoing investigation into
FBI agents were seen near Dalton Village Hall conducting an investigation. While they remain tight-lipped about its specifics, it doesn't take much to guess that Tiffany is at the center of it.
We know, and that is that a handful of FBI agents showed up to this area earlier today. What is not clear is exactly why. Now, here's another statement in part that we got from the FBI saying that the FBI was conducting court-authorized law enforcement activity in that area today. Department of Justice policy prevents the FBI from commenting on the nature of any investigation that may be occurring. Now, we know Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard has been the focus of NBC5 investigations for weeks, and that several high-level officials do face.
To many trustees, the FBI's presence in Dalton comes as a sigh of relief, bringing a sense that their calls for help are finally being heard.
Trustees that we spoke to, one in particular who we just spoke to, tells me this is a relief.
I'm feeling a sigh of relief. For the last 3 years, myself, the board members, and the residents have been feeling like no one was coming to save us in regards to providing us with the information that we need to make decisions regarding our finances with the village. So today I feel as if we're maybe one step closer to having some of the answers.
Tiffany isn't the only one under the FBI's microscope. Keith Freeman, her former right-hand man, has also been charged in connection with separate allegations. Freeman's indictment further deepens concerns about the circle of influence surrounding Henyard and her administration, raising even more questions about the integrity of those in her inner circle.
On a suburban government that's mired in accusations of scandal. The mayor of Dalton is already under investigation, and there are allegations of misconduct surrounding an official trip to Las Vegas. Well, now a top administrator is facing fraud charges. Regina Waldrop explains.
Trustee Andrew Holmes?
No.
Several high-level officials in South Suburban Dalton facing a rush of lawsuits and investigations. Federal prosecutors accuse Keith Freeman of making false statements in his bankruptcy petition. Freeman currently serves as village administrator and as municipality manager of Thornton Township.
There has been several times that we have gone back and forth, and we have talked about being able to get past all of this.
The indictment alleges that Freeman made several false statements and omissions in the bankruptcy petition filed in January. It says he knowingly underreported income he derived from his employment, as well as fees he received from his private consulting business. Freeman has not been arraigned, and the village declined to comment. This latest legal issue comes days after a civil lawsuit was filed against Mayor Tiffany Henyard and trustee Andrew Holmes, who is a well-known community activist. It was filed by the mayor's former assistant and a Dalton police officer. The lawsuit accuses Holmes of assault and battery and Henyard of retaliation. The incidents allegedly occurred during and after an economic development trip to Las Vegas last May.
As tensions escalate, Henyard's defensiveness has become more pronounced. During a recent Thornton Township meeting, a citizen openly accused her of corruption. Rather than addressing the allegations, Henyard attempted to have the individual removed, igniting even greater outrage among those in attendance.
Who faces multiple lawsuits and a federal
efforts to silence her critics haven't ended there. Firefighters from the village have come forward, accusing her of embezzling money from their retirement fund. One firefighter revealed that many have remained silent out of fear of retaliation, a valid concern given Tiffany's reputation for ego-driven decisions. Her actions represent an unforgivable breach of trust, directly harming those who risk their lives to protect the community. Yet, despite her betrayal, the firefighters continue to fulfill their duties, ensuring the safety of Dalton's residents. Serious allegations, Tiffany appears unfazed. Even as the FBI investigation unfolds, she was seen hosting a celebratory party, surrounded by supporters, as if nothing were amiss. Trustees declined to fund the event because it bore her name, but that didn't deter her. Tiffany insisted she paid for it out of her own pocket, though where that money came from remains a mystery. Her actions have left many questioning how someone under such intense scrutiny could so openly disregard the gravity of the situation.
Hey guys, hey! It's your super mayor, Tiffany Henyard, the people's mayor.
The super mayor took to social media to promote her party. There was a bounce house, skating, and a food giveaway.
But I spend my own money to make sure that I put on for my city. So I put my money where my mouth is.
Henyard said she paid after trustees refused. They're trying to control her spending and were skittish because the event was advertised as the Friends of Tiffany Henyard Picnic. That's also the name of her campaign fund. Her lawyer denies it was a political event, but it's clear the bash was meant to bolster Henyard's image as she faces a federal investigation into her spending in Dalton, where she's the mayor, and Thornton Township, where she's the supervisor.
And for those that don't know, let me make sure I'm crystal clear about this. I ain't never took a damn thing in my life. So I want to make sure y'all hear it out my mouth.
Let's start with the party's location. It was held at a skating rink Henyard commissioned in Dalton with an initial estimated cost of $269,000. WGN Investigates had to sue Dalton to get Henyard's administration to release credit card records, and we noticed a $17,000 charge to a roller.
Yet another controversial move, Henyard is facing accusations of using taxpayer-funded resources for political self-promotion. At a recent food distribution event, her campaign branding was prominently displayed on the goods being handed out, effectively transforming what should have been a charitable effort into a political rally. Later, in a Facebook video, Henyard defended her actions by claiming that God had chosen her to be mayor, brushing aside the mounting allegations of corruption.
This was in the box. We got greens. We got greens, beans, potatoes, you name it. Look at that.
Henyard frequently promotes the township's food pantry, but she's been accused of distributing the boxes with campaign messages. The Greater Chicago Food Depository performed a spot check Tuesday and reminded the township its food can't be used to promote a politician.
None of that food comes from the Chicago Food Depository, so they called us about your fake complaints the other day. We already got all that straight.
That's Keith Price, who runs the food pantry. He tells WGN Investigates the food boxes came from township surplus.
But y'all missing the biggest point. You got people like myself that care about community that people try to stop. People will always try to stop things they cannot control. That's what it's all about. Someone young, vibrant, energetic like myself, who cannot and will not be bought, is the one that's constantly moving forward.
Henyard has frequently been accused of mixing political and public money. Those newly obtained spending records show Dalton taxpayers footed the bill for more than $8,000 worth of hotel rooms during an event for Henyard's namesake cancer charity last year. The charity has now been shut down by the Illinois Attorney General.
God wanted me to lead the people. God knew that I wouldn't take no mess. He knew that I would stand strong in the fire for you.
Henyard's statements have done little to shift public opinion. For many, her claims of divine intervention appear to be a desperate attempt to divert attention from the serious allegations she faces. As the FBI intensifies its investigation, the evidence against Henyard continues to mount, ranging from pressuring business owners to donate to her campaign, to potential mismanagement of retirement funds, and even attempts to suppress dissent at public meetings. It's clear this investigation is far from over. With the FBI now fully engaged, it seems only a matter of time before the full truth emerges. The community of Dalton, along with observers nationwide, eagerly awaits answers and justice. That's all for now. Share your thoughts in the comments below and hit the bell icon for further updates.